Okay, hello, welcome once again to one of my Fretboard Roadmap series guitar lessons. As usual, in the middle of recording this lesson, the first attempt, it stopped in the middle, so I have some things drawn out here, and I'll catch you up to speed right now. Okay, what we've drawn here in the beginning is a typical fretboard box here, labeled strings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, E, A, D, G, B, E. Labeled the notes across the top of the fretboard in whole notes, F, G, A, B, C, D, and so on. And all our frets, 0 for open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to the 22nd fret of a typical guitar fretboard. And we want to be able to fill this in, right on the fly. And let's say we're trying to jam a song that's you're trying to create something maybe like a recording guitarist would, like Eric Johnson or Joe Satriani, who have many songs that are in a major scale. Here's what they're jamming on, and here are some basic shapes that make up the entire thing and allow you to move from one part of the fretboard to the other as you desire. Now, what this won't do is really let you know any target notes that are happening during a certain chord that's playing. But for me, that happens by ear. Once I freed myself to really be able to just run around the fretboard along the proper pattern anytime I want, I can use my ear to get to the target notes of the chord. So, this is what I find in the value of learning this. Here we go. I've drawn a shape here that's 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You could consider this the core shape, and we'll hear it on the guitar in a second. Here's 2 other shapes that are basically symmetrical to each other and totally not hard at all to understand. This is on 2 strings, and it's that box that we talked about in another lesson, and a little bar of notes right here. Pretty easy to play and pretty easy to do something fast on that little part. And you've heard this box thing played right here in a million billion solos, a million Santana solos and Dave Gilmour solos, and any other guitarist you can think of has run along this as the bottom of a pentatonic box a million times. This and this and this all make up the bottom or top of a pentatonic in loosely put there. But what we need to know is this. Let's hear this right now. Not only the notes, but what you can do with it. That's G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Just some random messing around. Okay. So that was this shape. Here's a key for you. When you are in this shape, you don't have to think about an extra shape. The coolest thing is that this shape is overlaid in this shape, and this is overlaid. This actually makes up, both of these are part of this. So that when you're in here, you have a doorway to get out into another shape, which leads basically into either this is your doorway one way, this is your doorway the other way, and from here you'll be getting simply back into, and you're already on this box again. Believe it or not, this shape that I displayed here, this whole thing that we made up using the boxes, using knowledge of pentatonics to create this, which we also created using the 3/4 visualization of the box, can also be created and understood using this way. And once you understand all these 3 techniques, if you're lost, stuck, you'll think of one of these ways to get out of where you are, getting out of the box, basically, so to speak. So let's put this somewhere on the guitar. What I'd like to do is think about putting it here. Okay. I am going to go and start right here. This box right here. So what would that mean? Let's fill in the rest pretty quickly here. Okay, so there we have that laid out right there. Okay, so we're kind of stuck in this box. That lasted about 10 seconds. Now we need to go somewhere else and play some other things to impress an audience. Well, how do we get the hell out of here? How can we move across the fretboard? How can we build everything else right from that box? Well, let's check this out. You can basically exit the box on these two notes down this way. You can go here this way, and I'm going to show you how. Let's imagine this shape right here simply overlaid right on top of the shape that we're in. So theoretically, if we were playing in the shape we just heard, you could shift your fingers down and suddenly play a pretty fast lick on this guy. And let's say you were interested in moving up this way. You needed to go this way on the guitar. Well, let's try this shape. Here's our exit key here. Let's line this one up. Basically, this is the center pole right here. Consider this the center pole, and we create the box on each end. Wow, that's pretty cool, huh? Suddenly, not so hard anymore. If we've got this shape happening here, you've got a whole lot of information right there. If you remember how to create your pentatonic boxes, you'll remember that this little piece here, placed on these two strings, the middle two, the D and the G, create this box here. Oops. Create this box here, so we can overlay it right there. Part of what we'll call our Dorian pentatonic. Okay, however, you don't need to know all that right now. We just need a way to get quickly through here and then move along the fretboard and know what the hell we're doing. Well, here's the coolest thing. So we've got somewhat out of this box, but you're still wondering, where the hell do we go from here? Let's consider two other factors here. See this thing right here? This box? We're dealing with the box on the right here, this box right here. Well, guess what? Nothing could be cooler. See this box and this box? They're not different boxes. You don't have to play anything. That's the same. So theoretically, if you are here, you are here. It's like a wormhole for your guitar fretboard. If you're here, well, add in these two notes next, you're there. And remember, I called this the center pole? And remember how a square box can get you into the big bracket here? So then theoretically, there must be this here. And that would be 100% exactly correct. So we've got, we're stretching out over the fretboard here. And so we got in here, we're playing the exact same notes as here now. So, I mean, at least we've moved to another part of the fretboard, but we're not exactly necessarily playing anything new or different than we played over here. So we might want to move around a little more. Well, let's consider moving this way again. How did we do it from here? Through the box. We'll do the same thing here. The box on the top. So as you can see, on one side you hang the ears on the top. One side hang the box on below. Just remember, to the left, below, to the right on top. That's one way to think about this. In and out of the master box. Okay? From here we knew about here, and look, we're all the way to the end of the fretboard there. Nothing else to know. So, let's go in a couple of other directions here. Let's say we want to go down this way. Well, we knew that this created this. Cool. And we also, this is the center pole, but it doesn't go up. That would create some kind of weird conflict. The pattern is down, down, and it repeats down. Now, the only thing you need to know here Well, first of all, if this is another box of 3, should be another pole right here, and that's true. And if this box, this 1, 2, 3 here is this box, we're creating the strings below. But as you know, we can't just go right there and make it that easy. Of course, can't be that easy, can it? The B string, we all remember that these 2 strings are shifted this way on the guitar. Everything that happens shifts up. That's why this string tunes on the 4th fret, and all the rest of them tune to the 5th fret. If you tune your guitar, you'll know what that's all about. So pretty simply, what would we do here? Shift up 1 fret. It's the 1 fret shift, and you're still essentially playing this pattern that's just broken at the bottom. And there, we have it. We have a pretty playable area of the guitar created right there. How can we create the rest of this box? Well, helpful to know about this monster right here, basically the link-up box, which is essentially take this half and put it on top of that half. What does that mean actually? That means that this half is always on top of this half. So theoretically, let's find one of these, and we'll put one of these on top. Where's one of these? Hey, here's a square with one of those poles on the end. Okay, there's one. Theoretically, this should be on top, and is that the case? Yes, my friends, it totally is. You could fill in that square and create this at the top here, and lo and behold, you've got what I'll teach in another lesson. Right now I'm just calling it the Dorian ladder, because that shape to me reminds me of a Dorian scale, for reasons you'll see in later videos. And if you can run, basically from this shape, as you know, you can turn this into one long shape, one larger shape, which is this square box. Into that large shape. Let's hear all this on the guitar real quick. Here is this shape. I'm going to play from this shape into this shape. The square never changes. So we're going to start with this note here, and then just get a little creative. Slipped it down the other 2 frets, found that same box again, and just simply went from there to there and down a little bit farther. And that was that. You create a fast little angular run that goes from here to here, but wait, we don't have this filled in. Well, let's get it filled in. We have a couple clues here on what the heck is where our fretboard actually is. Let's check this out. Look at here. We remember this top shape right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Well, that's the top of our very classic, most obvious, normal pentatonic minor scale, the Aeolian pentatonic, which has a square on top, goes down, and hey, what do you know? There's that connector box on the bottom that we drew here. So, in that regard, that must be the bottom of this. We know a pentatonic scale. Well, we know Aeolian goes like this. So now we've just got a whole other area of our guitar fretboard down pat. And here we'll make that connector box we just talked about. It goes here, which we right now recognize. If you've been playing for any length of time, oh yeah, okay, well, geez, the bottom of the Aeolian. I know that. That also repeats in this direction. Can be a little more complex to visualize, but let's not go in that direction. Let's try to find some other ways here. So we know that's the Aeolian, but with our pentatonic knowledge, we know that this is this centerpiece here, starting on the 5th string, makes up the very center of the other 2 pentatonics. So theoretically, if we know that those other 2 pentatonics are here, we know that this is the top of the Phrygian scale, this is the top of the Dorian scale, and this is the top of the Aeolian scale. and call those names, call the scales by that name, but don't think about playing in, when it comes to playing in Aeolian, don't think about that. It doesn't work like that. But we'll go over musical information in later lessons. Here you just need to learn to get your fingers across the fretboard, get your road map down, and then you can get to different parts of town. So let's create we know this is the Dorian scale. I know how a Dorian scale goes. Dorian has the box on bottom, where Aeolian has the box on top. Dorian puts the box on the bottom, which creates the same box used for the Phrygian scale, which has that box on the bottom in the back part of the scale. So if there's a square there, we know that there's this master pattern. Bam, bam, bam. What do you know? We're pretty much freeing up the whole fretboard without having to know the whole fretboard. You just simply have to know, hey, I'm here, I could theoretically go here, well, then I'm in here, and if I'm in here, I can go to, well, oh, I'm back in here. And if I'm back in here, I can go here and here. And if I'm here, I can go back in here, I can go here, I can go here. Because if you're here, you're actually there in the box. If you're here, you're actually, these are the two poles that are right there. You're still in the box. Basically, never escape this pattern or this pattern or this pattern. But as these patterns overlay, you could theoretically take a block or two and create this connector pattern, which is created at the bottom of the Aeolian scale. So let's find out some more things here. Here's the, let's go this way. Here's the block on top. Oh, just as we created here, we're an octave below. It's the identical thing. We basically already created the entire fretboard here. We know there's a wall right here of notes because that makes up the back of the pentatonic, which I've set up in the key of C here, going on to all the, this is also a map of every whole note on the guitar right now, because the key of C contains every whole note. The bottom of an Aeolian has this connector box. We'll go here and here. And from there, wow, okay, bottom of the, after Aeolian, skip a whole row, and you got this shape here, which is, in our bigger picture, hey, here we are. We're here at this shape. So theoretically here must be this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What do you know? G Mixolydian scale. As the fifth of the key of C. Mixolydian. Its own cool sound. A lot of songs you hear. I've heard Jerry Garcia is known for a Mixolydian type of sound in his solos. Considering all his solos, that may or may not be true, but I'm sure there's a few that have, a couple probably notorious ones that have a somewhat of a Mixolydian sound. You'll learn about all that in later lessons. But for now, let's complete our scale. If we're here, we just drew this, well then, now we know there must be a box right there, because that's the way out from here. We know these two open strings must be hot rodders. And to fill it out at the top there, what does this look like? Oh, I know where I am here, because when I see this shape on the 5th and 4th strings, I automatically associate. I know, that's what I've learned, is this shape you can only put on the 6th, 5th, 5th, 4th, 4th, 3rd, 3rd and 2nd, 2nd and 1st strings. So there's only a select place that this thing actually appears, and so it becomes easy to learn that when it's on this set of strings, oh, that's on the Aeolian. When it's on this set of strings, you're in Dorian, the 1 and 2. When it occurs on this set of strings, you're actually just behind your Dorian. You can call this, your guitar teacher probably taught you this as a Locrian scale. Starting on this note, some guitar teachers teach that pattern as the beginning of the major scale, some teach it this way, but those are really disjointed patterns that don't connect in your mind and don't get you to just whip through the fretboard and just wander around aimlessly anytime, anywhere. And if it becomes a struggle to you, it's just because your mind isn't settled. You haven't forced your mind to say, hey, listen, mind, there's no confusion here. This is this. this. If I'm in here, I am in here. If I am in here, I am in here. All I need to do is know exactly where the key plugs in. And that is, once again, ear up here, ear down here. Ear, meaning you're hanging your notes off to the side, like a couple Mr. Potato Head ears there. Okay, so creating this downward, we know here there's a whole strew of empty notes. What's here? Oh yeah, Phrygian scale. Or what we'll just coin. As a matter of fact, that leaves actually every one of these open notes as playable notes at key of C. That note right there gets covered, and once again we have the square happening here. We could know that just because we remembered our Phrygian style pentatonic shape. For me, learning 3 different pentatonics, which all have the same outer shell, just a mix-up of 3 different inside combination notes, was, you know, nothing hard. I thought that was pretty easy. Here's this F, it must be here. We have enough there, we have enough there. And we have basically every single note that we are going to play on a major scale mapped out, maybe -1 or 2 notes here. And here, I think I'm missing a note. Oh yeah, remember in another lesson we mentioned that the Phrygian links up with the Aeolian on one little magic cross note here. Here we go. There we go. And that would be the one note available in that row of notes, or that fret. So what do we have here? What do we have missing here? We have basically, let's repeat that note between G and A, G and A, G and R, Guns N' Roses. Slash, another good guitar player. Lots of major scale stuff happening there. But if you suddenly find it suddenly goes different on you and the notes are different, you can change scales right in the middle of a solo. If you're a talented guitarist, you'll know how to do that. And later lessons will show you exactly how to do that. But first you want to learn to just run around in one spot. Once you run around in one spot, you can run around. You can shift this all around and learn how to jump to different keys. So final part here. Let's see, we got a couple notes up here that are hard to get to anyways. You're usually never even playing this spot, but if you did, what do we have here? That's the, here's this box, here's this box. What's on the bottom of this box? Oh yeah, the joiner box. If you consider these 2 frets, but you don't even really need to consider that joiner box if you just consider that this box is always on top of what? This box is always on top of this box, which of course actually is on top of this box, this box. If you stack them on top of each other, this box, this box, this box, this box is all the guitar fretboard is doing. It just doesn't appear that way once you fill everything in. So in that theory, if this box is here and this box is underneath, oh I'm sorry, this box is on top and this box is underneath, then here's another square, which would make perfect sense because the guitar repeats in an octave this way. We all know that this one and this one are an octave, so there's the first note of the box, and there's also the first note of a box. So the final thing we have here is the what we could recognize. Where's that box again here? Box and box. Here's this part already created. We need basically 2 more notes filled in here. And with just a little bit of knowledge, going from one place to the other, you were able to fill in your entire fretboard. Where the knowledge became a little bit more cryptic, basically going downward, you remembered your pentatonic theory, where this makes up the middle of your Dorian and Phrygian scale, and this one also makes up top of the pentatonic scale, shifted off to the side, of the Aeolian pentatonic. Dorian, Phrygian, Aeolian pentatonic, repeat to get you all the way across the fretboard, Phrygian, Aeolian fretboard, Dorian fretboard, Dorian pentatonic, Phrygian pentatonic, Aeolian, and so on and so forth. P-A-D, P-A-D, pad, pad, pad. Hope you enjoyed this lesson on getting across your fretboard. Practice this and see how it goes. I'll leave this with some music, and here we go.